number 9. The Week 9 review of the Franchise Fantasy Baseball League. Manny Machado?
Starting lineup. I didn't know they made starting lineups anymore.
Is this brand new or is it a couple years old?
No. This is from I guess nobody wanted to respond to my pictures when I'm at a baseball game and said, "Where are we?" Nobody guessed.
No, I knew where you were.
Oh.
I just didn't say.
He's playing so bad this year, they were giving these away. By the boxes.
I don't think that's how that works. I think that's the reason why they were giving
Really?
it away.
Well, I got 2.
Oh,
How
you
could
got
I
2?
get 2?
We had 2 kids. Did you bring the kids?
No.
Oh, well, there's 2 of you, right? You went with your
There's
date?
2 of me.
Yeah, what a date.
I tell you what, if
That's 2.
there's 2 of me, this world would be in trouble.
It would be. All right. Okay, matchups. Team.
You don't want to talk about what you're wearing?
I'm going to a state softball game after this, so I just didn't really want to bring an extra change of clothes. So I'm in my Spring Grove Rocket softball coaching shirt.
Congratulations.
Thank you. All right.
Very businesslike today.
Yes, very businesslike. Team Jobu fell short at a 10-8 score over Bear Bashers.
One of the 2 matchups of the week
Yes.
that we were excited to watch.
Oh, were you excited to watch?
Well, I
Did you have popcorn and buy tickets? Or?
Well, no, but I'm just talking about everybody else. That likes
Oh,
stuff.
okay, all right.
You know, I could care less who won this matchup. So.
Oh, okay. It was a 10-8 score. Basically, I think the difference was the complete game shutout. Again, that's the 9 and 10th point there.
Wow.
Team Jobu had 110 innings with all of his streaming.
That's awesome.
110 innings in a week.
I bet he won strikeouts.
Yeah, he did win strikeouts. That was one of the categories he won was strikeouts.
And wins?
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure he did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good job, Team Jobo.
Yeah, good job. Okay, next matchup.
The second matchup that people were excited to see.
Yes, yeah, they were. With the 10-7 win over Globo Gym, Globo continues his losing streak against winning teams. Yeah.
I don't know what you're going to say. I mean, I've said this from your number 1 ranking from 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You know, play somebody good, see what happens.
Well, it's funny because if you actually break down, he is 4-1 against teams with a losing record. He is 0-4 against teams with a winning record. So that's pretty much cut and dry what's happening there.
So here's my question for you. And again, this is tying all the videos together.
Yeah.
So last week you knocked me in my rankings from 1 to 2.
Well, yeah.
Because I didn't have Trout.
Yeah.
So now I just played someone in your Power 4 without Trout
Yeah.
and won.
Yeah. But what did the number 1 team do? Number 1 team held serve.
Number 1 team held serve last week and you still dropped them. Boom shakalaka laka.
No,
Yeah,
it doesn't work that way.
Yes. Yeah.
No.
Well, not in your world, no,
No.
in fairy tale land.
It doesn't.
So
Yeah.
what's more impressive? So are you saying that it's not a credible win since Globo Gym's never beaten anybody good?
I didn't say it wasn't a bad win, but that doesn't mean you automatically move up. Yeah, it's a good win.
I'm not trying to influence you in your rankings. I'm
Well,
just
yeah.
saying I didn't have Trout, and I
got
played
you.
someone who you thought was the best team in the league for like 5 weeks.
Right, but I mean the easiest answer is that the team that's ranked ahead of you has already beaten you head to head. Right? So it's
Okay.
yeah. And the batting average in that category in that matchup was very interesting. Team V had a 315 batting average, while Globo Gym had a 237 batting average.
Yeah,
that was
I will admit I'm a little disappointed with that 315 batting average. I was hoping for a little more, but
yeah, just not high enough for you. Next matchup, 14-1, a win for Zips over Alaska's Glaciers.
I'm going to be honest with you. Other than Ben's champions, I have no idea what's going on with the other 5 teams. I can't figure them out week to week. I mean, literally, it's. I just wait till the end of the week to see who won, and I'm like, oh, okay, because I don't get it. I can't figure them out.
Well, I mean, again, I'm not trying to take away from Zips' victory, but Zips was just a little bit better in all the categories. If you actually look at the matchup.
So it was a close matchup.
Right.
Just the final score was not close.
Right. That's what I'm trying to say there. But I do think it's interesting. Alaska Glaciers is now 23 games under 500.
It's very not Alaska Glaciers like.
No. No.
Considering his roster.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get into that with the power rankings too, but it's
Okay.
not a typical Alaska Glaciers roster.
No. Ben's Champions continues to stay hot with a 9-6 tight win over Murderers Row. Lots of close categories in that one.
So he stays hot by beating the 10th place team.
Well, he's won 3 in a row, 3 matchups in a row. There's not a lot of teams who can say that. I know it sounds like it shouldn't be that difficult to do.
Well, it depends.
But-
I mean, if you play the bottom 3 teams, you should win 3 wins in a row.
That's true. I did find it interesting that Ben's Champions had a 5.22 ERA and a 1.35 WHIP, and those were winners in those categories. So
Must be nice.
yeah. Next matchup, 14-2, another drubbing. Pine Tree Lane over Five Swords, knocking Five Swords into last place for the first time this season.
Again, I can't figure out any of these teams in the bottom.
I mean,
Didn't Five Swords have like one of the worst offensive weeks like ever?
yeah,
It was
really
bad.
It was really bad. Yeah, and if you look over it, the issue that I have with Five Swords is that you look at the team and usually you can look at a team and say, okay, there's a couple of players that I am at least excited about. I can see them doing better. I don't see that. Like if you look at, you know what I mean? Because I mean, right now his biggest star was probably Bellinger, and he's really come back to earth. You know?
Well, I mean, if you're talking about active players, yes. I mean, I
Right.
would definitely take Cespedes when he comes off the DL if he's willing.
Well,
to give
yeah.
him, if he's willing to give him away.
Right.
But no, there's nobody on that roster that hitting wise. Well, I did make an offer for Eduardo Nunez, but got shot down. So
No. Okay. You wouldn't think he would have that high of value as a.
the response I got was his offense is already bad as it is. He can't afford to trade away hitting.
Oh. Okay, but couldn't you try to get better hitting from trading it away? Or no, you don't like that?
Well, interesting because then I offered him a trade today for hitting,
Oh yeah.
and he didn't like how old the player was that I offered him.
He
so.
is in rebuild mode, I guess now. I don't know. That wasn't what he was doing earlier in the season, but maybe he's.
How can you
changed
be
his
in
mind.
rebuild mode?
I don't know. Maybe because he wants you. I don't know. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate, trying to figure out why he would care about a player's age.
Like I said, I can't figure out any of the bottom teams. I don't know what. I mean, they're so inconsistent.
Yeah, that's maybe why they're the bottom though. They're
Could be.
inconsistent. All right, now we have a bunch of trades to talk about. I didn't realize there was this many trades until I actually listed them all out.
Now we did get a gripe that we missed a trade last week.
Yeah, we did, and
We did or didn't?
No, well, we didn't. We got it. We did get a gripe. We really didn't miss the trade because, as far as the calendar week goes, it was really in the next week. It was in, you know what I mean?
So the person that accused us was wrong because they didn't check their facts.
Well, I guess that would be that.
But it
would be
wasn't
true.
you this time.
No, it wasn't. Really wasn't.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So I guess going back from the trades, because we'll go backwards then.
Yes.
The trade was Zach Greinke traded to Globo Gym for Javier Baez. That was the trade.
Great trade for Globo Gym. You got a guy who's very overvalued by some of the team members in our league.
Wait, you agree with that? I'm just waiting for someone else to agree with me because I've been saying that Javier Baez has been overvalued forever.
Well, it depends what you get. Yes, if you're going to get Zach Greinke for Javier Baez, yes, I would take that and run.
That is true.
Take that and run.
The thing that's interesting about Greinke is how well he's pitched at home.
Finally,
Yeah.
yes.
I don't know if you saw that or not, but his road stats actually aren't that great, but his home stats are, which really doesn't make sense for the ballpark.
Now, he
That's
has
what's
come back
happening.
down to earth a little bit on a few starts.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's,
But overall, still pretty good. So that was a trade, and I think that was a good trade for Zips.
for Globo Gym.
No, it was a good trade for Zips because he finally got a young player that has multi-position eligibility.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. Yes. Obviously, getting Greinke for Baez was a steal. I would try to. I want to be nice to Zips because I feel like I rip every trade Zips makes. What do you think?
You do.
Yeah, I do. But I mean, do you agree though? I mean, because most of the time we're in agreement that Zips is not getting the better end of the deal, unless he's trading with you.
Correct.
Then it's a completely different situation.
Correct. I agree. I would agree with that statement.
Yeah. Okay. Next trade. This was probably the biggest trade of the week, I would say for sure.
Star power wise, yes.
Star power, yes. Mookie Betts gets traded to Alaska Glaciers for Starling Marte,
Who's suspended?
Alex Bregman,
who sucks,
Steven Strasburg.
who's never pitched more than 170 innings in a season.
Right. So that was the trade. Yeah, the more time goes by, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's not that bad of a trade. But the more I think about it, I really hate Marte in Pittsburgh because the offense is just so weak. You know what I mean?
And how's he going to be coming off the PED suspension?
And historically, and I know it's not a huge pool to pull from.
Correct.
But most of the time when they come back, they're not very good. At least that
No,
year.
because I mean, yes, they are doing baseball activities. We know
Right.
he's not just laying around doing nothing, but
Yeah.
doing baseball activities and game action are not the same.
Right.
It's got your boy Bregman on there.
He does have Bregman, who I'll give him some credit. He is showing some signs of power, but again, he had an entire series where he didn't have a hit last weekend, so they benched him on Monday. Now he did come in and actually get a pinch hit single last night, but it's he's just not ready for prime time yet. I don't think.
Again, and you
that
know
way.
that you can go both ways on this statement too, but I just find it interesting that a guy that's coveted by so many teams because of his potential, I'm talking about Bregman,
Yeah.
has just been traded twice
Yeah.
in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Now don't get me wrong, getting Mookie Betts is
Yeah.
is worth it, but you didn't just trade Betts for Bregman. You had to trade Betts for Bregman and 2 other pieces. So to
Yeah.
me, that says the value of Bregman is not.
No. And
Don't get me wrong, I love Strasburg. I think that's great, but is he going to be pitching for you in September?
well, the funny thing about Strasburg is that yeah, funny. He does every now and then have a really bad start. Like he is. If you look at his numbers at the end of the year, you're like, wow, those are great numbers.
Right.
But he'll have like 1 out of every 6 starts where he just doesn't show up. I don't know if people realize that or not, but I know because I own this guy twice. This is what he does.
I'm more afraid of, and this is why I pulled out of every trade offer that I was in discussions with, is that when a guy hasn't pitched 200 innings ever, that means he's never pitched an entire season without
Yeah.
being hurt.
Yeah.
I
I
just
know, that's true.
I just don't, yeah, he's great now, but he'll get you to the playoffs. But
Yeah.
if he's not going to be there for the
season, yeah.
playoffs, what's it matter?
Yeah, that's true.
But it was still a very interesting trade. Mookie Betts getting moved.
Yeah, you would think though that if he had any intention of trading Mookie Betts that he would have shopped him. Because I feel like there's certain GMs in this league that would have overpaid for
Are
him.
you the pot or the kettle?
Well, I'm neither because I wouldn't have touched Mookie Betts.
Well, no, but I'm talking about your shopping him phrase that you like to use. Since you just made a trade last night, but
Yeah.
only shopped him to 4 people.
No, that's not entirely true. So you don't even know the whole story. We'll talk about that. Maybe I guess we got to wait until next week to talk about that.
Okay.
But yeah. Okay. The next one was Brett Gardner traded to Murderers Row for Jason.
We talked about that in
Kipnis.
the last video.
Well, we kind of did because it happened the day of the video,
Right.
but it happened last week.
I gotcha.
I mean, just to give a couple seconds on it, honestly, I still think it's pretty much a fair trade.
I think it's a great trade for Globo Gym. He needed a second baseman with Kipnis hurt. I'm sorry, with Kinsler hurt.
Kinsler hurt,
And Kipnis showing signs he's going to hit. He's still not being consistent enough, but
No.
he gets going and he's in that Cleveland lineup hitting at the top. I liked it.
Yeah.
He gave up a guy who's doing something he's never done before in his career. And Brett Gardner hitting power bombs all the time.
Change your swing angle. That's all it is, man. Launch angle.
Yeah.
And then the last trade of the week was.
Pissed me off. This one pissed me off. By the way.
Nah, that I don't know why.
Well, I'm going to tell you as soon as you tell it.
Okay. Justin Wilson,
Closing for the Tigers.
Raciel Iglesias,
Closing for the Reds.
Yes.
With SP eligibility.
yes, traded to Bear Bashers for Max Kepler and J.A. Happ to Alaska Glaciers. So, what is your anger on this trade?
Where would you like me to start?
Well,
Which side of the trade?
I don't care.
No, I'll let you pick. Which one?
No, I mean, I'll tell you this. I mean, this you're right. There was no shopping involved in this. Is that what you're upset about?
No.
I was gonna say I didn't think you
No.
would be because it wasn't like there was names in here that's shopping. I mean, I was trying to shore up my bullpen through everybody in the league that I could. I was trying to get everybody's a lot of times worst closer that I could.
Who did you ask for my team?
Well, not you. It wouldn't have.
Oh.
There's certain teams I know it's not going to work with, and you wouldn't have traded a closer. You weren't.
I would have traded you Bud Norris.
He's not going to continue to close, though. That's what I'm saying. I wanted a closer who's going to keep the job.
That's what you think.
Well,
Not what I'm reading.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll see. Once everybody comes back, I don't think Norris is keeping the job. Because even Street's coming back, too, you know that. So between all three of them, I don't know who's
It
going
is
to
what, 85-mile-an-hour fastball.
Well, hey, Sosha has loyalty,
He does.
you know? So,
So did oh gosh, what's the Tigers coach?
oh my gosh, I can picture him. And
Yeah.
he used to be catcher for Houston. We might have to add that on the next segment because we can't think of his name. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't
but
think of his
anyways,
name.
yeah, he was loyal to K-Rod, and how'd that work out for
Yeah.
him?
Oh, I know. Yeah, it didn't work out, but
So anyways, here's my gripe.
yeah.
I've always harped on Alaska Glacier's strategy of punting saves and holds, just like I've been riding Ben's champions for punting saves and holds all year. Now he had two closers,
He did.
and the argument is, well, two closers isn't enough to compete against the other team. That's fine.
Yeah.
Did you know that he beat a team in saves one week that has 5 closers?
Yeah.
5 with his 2.
Yes. Let me.
Hold on.
What
So
the hell is
now,
that?
you've taken a category which you've proven you can win, and I could be wrong, but I thought he did win this category twice, at least twice. A category that you were at least competing in, and now you are giving that point away now to every team you play.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's back to his old strategy. So now we have 2 teams again. Now he does have holds guys, so he is going to try to compete against that.
Yeah.
But we would agree that next to triples, holds is the hardest category to consistently.
Yeah.
Try one.
If you don't have a main setup guy, yes.
Right. So, and then my other gripe is Max Kepler, for both of you. You're both idiots. You started out with Max Kepler.
Mhm.
You cut him.
I did. I didn't want to, but I had to.
Tom picks him up off free agency
He did. Yeah, pretty much right away, actually.
and then trades him back to the guy who originally owned him.
Mhm.
And tell me what you want with J.A. Happ.
Well, what does he want with him, or what did I want with him? I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Well, yeah, what do you think he wants with J.A. Happ?
I don't know. He did win 20 games last year, just to put that in perspective.
Oh, and how many categories does that get you this year? Does last year's stats get you?
Well, he was hurt. I mean, you have to wait and see.
Do you think Toronto's a good team this year?
Well, so far they haven't been, but they've been hot recently.
So, did you answer my question, or did you avoid it? Do you think Toronto's a good team this year?
I believe by the end of the year they'll probably be like a 500 team. I think that's legit. That's probably what they are.
Okay.
But yeah, as far as the trade itself, I went to him and I said, "Here's the deal," and this was during the week because you are right. At that time, he had 2 wins and saves because I looked at the breakdown. I said, "You're 2-5 in the save category." I said, "You've only won twice." Now I know you're like, "Oh well, that's 2 points. It's only 2 points. It's only 2 points all season that he won with saves."
Do you know how many points he got in that category last year?
No, I don't.
Well, I'll tell you, it's an easy one. 0. Do you know how many points he got in that category the year before that?
I guess you're gonna say 0.
0. So in 2
Yeah.
years, he's already surpassed
Right.
this year in what he's
Right.
gotten.
But
And plus, here's the other reason. Here's the other reason too. So from a strategy standpoint, okay. Now I'm playing him. I get a save on Monday. I don't have to play closers the rest of the week. I can pick up holds guys now because that's the only category I got to try to compete against him in.
Well,
if he at least has,
if your roster's
if he
constructed that way,
has,
that's not for everybody.
If he has, well, we'll get into that too because I'm going to harp on you on something you said in the video last week.
Right.
If he has 2 closers, legitimate 2 closers,
Yeah.
and they're getting saves, I have to keep saves guys in my lineup, correct? Because if he's going to accumulate saves.
Yeah.
I just, again, everybody's entitled to their own strategy. And I will say thank you every time I play Ben's Champions and Alaska Glaciers. Thank you for giving me saves every week. And for Ben's Champions, thank you for giving me holds. Or if I beat Alaska Glaciers, thank you for letting me win holds too. I mean, it's, I don't get it. But whatever. You run your team how you want. That's been the motto this year. We might change the league name next year from Franchise League to I'll run my team.
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, he had no saves wins in the last 2 years, but yeah, he has 2 this year. But how's it working out for him? So obviously, whatever formula he's using this year isn't working.
Because that's the reason he's losing his matchups.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean,
I know what you just said. I heard you. That's why I just refuted it. That's the reason he's so bad is because he's going after saves this year.
and as far as Kepler, he's really hot. I mean, there's no getting around it. I mean,
and that's your preference. That's your preference.
Over the season, he's hitting over 300 against right-handed pitching.
So that sounds like a great platoon guy. Why'd you get rid of him?
Because I needed to shore up the bullpen. That's the only reason. Look, there's a ton of guys I don't want to get rid of, but I just don't have the roster room to keep. Okay. So, that was the reason. So, okay. I guess that's the end of the trades. I don't have any more trades, so...
we don't have a hot topic.
No hot topic.
I just have a quick rebuttal on the hot topic from last week.
Okay.
Which was your gripe about...
I don't know. What was it about?
Farm system.
Yeah.
And you don't like how guys can own a player and not have them on their roster and then kind of pick them up, spot start whenever they want.
Yeah.
Correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the difference between doing that and what everybody does every Monday and Thursday when they go to the free agent market and drop their 27th and 28th guy and pick up a guy just for that day?
Are you serious? Okay.
It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
How isn't it?
Because I keep the rights to that guy. That's the difference. That's the difference, man.
I know that's the difference.
If I pick up Joe Smith, who's the highest prospect, I can drop highest prospect and pick up someone else on a Monday or Thursday. In your situation where you pick up a random free agent, you lose the rights to them when you pick them when you drop them. You lose the rights to them, and someone else can either claim them on waivers or wait till they clear waivers and then pick them up.
Would you agree with this statement that everyone has the rights to all the free agents that aren't farm guys?
Yes.
Okay. So would you rather have the rights to over 500 players or have the rights to one player?
I would rather have the rights to over 500 probably.
Okay. So then you should be thanking people that are just picking up their farm guys that they own for Mondays and Fridays because they're only picking up that one guy. You get to pick 500 guys.
That's not, you don't understand. It expands everybody's roster, and that's what I don't...
It doesn't expand their roster. They still have to have 28 guys.
Yes, but you still have them in your back pocket just because they're not on your roster.
You mean just like everybody has these starters they pick up every week in their back pocket that they pick up every Sunday to start for Monday and twice
Well, it depends on who you are. You could be Team Joe Boo, where basically just picks up 14 pitchers a week.
So what's the difference between what he's doing and owning the one farm guy? It's the same concept.
No, it's not, because anybody else can pick up the same pitchers that he's picking up. That's the thing. He's expanding you're expanding the roster by saying, "Hey, I've got this guy that I can go to at any time and go get him when I want and play him on that day."
He can only go to him as long as he's farm eligible.
Well, yes, as long as he's farm eligible.
By the way, one more side note: farm system. I deliberately left Cody Bellinger on the list with expired at bats, and not one person caught it. So, good job, league.
Yeah, well, that's because let me explain. If I don't need that list for anything, why am I checking the list? If I'm going to pick up a player who possibly could be in farm, because there was a guy, I don't remember who it was. I didn't even know the name, so I had to go look to make sure he wasn't on the farm list.
Marcus Wilson, the guy you picked up.
Yeah, that's who it was. Yeah, you're right. So okay, that was the reason why I checked the list. So
so you could pick up a guy that you didn't hear about, that you didn't know about. So why'd you pick him up if you didn't know who he was?
Well, because then I figured out what was going on with him. I mean, that's why I knew. Look, don't make fun of me just because I don't know every single minor league player in the history of the world. But I've
never claimed to know that, and I don't think Globo Jim has ever made that statement either. That's a pretty bold one.
No, but I mean, as far as Marcus Wilson, he was a guy who wasn't in the top 100 before the season started, and now his stock is rising big, and that's what everybody's talking about. You know, that's the reason why I picked him up. That was it.
That's a legitimate reason to do it.
Yeah.
You did your homework. You did some research. You looked at the list.
Yeah, he wasn't on the list, and then I went and picked him up because he wasn't on the list.
Okay.
So but if that's why nobody knows about Bellinger, because if they're not going to be in the market of picking someone up, why look at that list? That's all. I mean, I'm sure most people would agree. If they're not picking up a minor leaguer, why look at the list right now?
Why do I have to post it if no one's going to look at it?
Well,
I should only have to post it then when guys pick people up?
You're talking to the wrong guy, because I still don't think there should be a list. I think that it would solve every problem if all the guys were just on their roster. But you don't like it that way. No. Because I even think that you could even put the law in. You could put the rule in that says just because they're on your roster doesn't mean you're allowed to play them. And you're
going to check everybody's roster every day?
See, it all boils down to you don't trust people. And I think if you said, listen, you are going to get fined. I don't know what you're looking at.
Well, you look like you're writing something. You grabbed a pen.
Well, yeah. If you look at it and say you are going to get fined if you play a minor league player that is
We
not
don't
in
find
there.
people in this league.
Well, this is a different situation because now you're officially cheating if
We're
you're using
also-
a player that you cannot.
This is a friendly league. We don't do fines anymore.
Oh.
We do warnings, and
Telling
we're
you.
also talking about giving trophies to everyone next year for participating.
Look, you could do it if you just expanded the rosters and said you have to keep these guys on your, all the guys that you own in your NA have to be there.
All right, ready
could
for your
do it.
pop quiz?
Sure, go.
Okay. Number one.
Yeah, number one.
Who would you say is your surprise team in a good way so far? And now, why I'm doing this is technically everyone has played everybody once now. Okay? Agree?
Yeah, right.
All right. So this would be a good time to measure, even though people like Ben's champion say it doesn't matter because he doesn't really try the first month or two of the season. But
Yeah.
everyone's played everyone once, so you kind of have an idea of what's going on. Who's your surprise team in a good way right now?
Well, of course I have to say me, and it sounds stupid because you put me in a position where I have to toot my own horn.
No, I don't. You could have said it. You had.
Who else would it be? It has to be me, right? In that question, if you ask that to anybody, who's surprised that they're in first place by 5 games or 4 games or whatever? It's obvious. Everybody would say, well, nobody thought Barrett Bashers was going to be in first place halfway through the season almost.
I would agree with you.
Right. So that's got to be the surprise team in a good way. It would have to be my team.
Who's your surprise team in a bad way?
Oh, that's easy. That's definitely Alaska Glaciers. Because he was the preseason number 1 for just about, it was like 7 out of 10 GMs
Right.
had him as the preseason number 1.
And I would give a close number 2 to Pine Tree Lane. Just roster. Just with the names. The names on that roster.
I'm not saying he isn't a disappointment, but he's not as big a disappointment as Alaska Glaciers because everybody was in on him before the season started.
Yeah, and we're not. By the way, we're not.
That's
by
not- this
no
isn't
means,
bashing Alaska
No,
Glaciers.
and we're
I'm
not
still trying to
saying
figure out
we're
why
not
it's so
saying he
bad.
can't make the playoffs. I'm saying
Yeah.
as of right now, everyone has played everyone once. The standings are what they are.
Yeah.
And looking at them, it's just.
Yeah, and speaking of that, because we were still sort of talking about this, I forgot to do the longest streaks.
Oh yes,
Okay?
you did. Go ahead.
Yes.
I'll let you interrupt my
Yeah.
creative
Well, no,
segment.
it's relative to this because just like I said, I'm the biggest surprise team. I now have a 8-game winning streak.
Well,
8 weeks. I have
Isn't-
not lost.
correct. If you lost in week 1
I did.
and then win the rest of your games,
Yes.
you would still have the longest winning streak.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just saying that's pretty surprising, isn't it? It's surprising that anybody wins 8 weeks in a row, isn't it?
I believe we had someone win. There is a longer winning streak.
The longest one I believe is 11.
It is in the league history, by the
It
way.
is. I looked
For
it
those of
up.
you that don't like to look at things, I put that in the tabs.
It's 11. It was Pine Tree Lane in like 2012 or something like that.
Ah.
So that's what.
during one of his 2-year runs.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. But the interesting part is the longest losing streaks.
Right now?
It's a tie. It's tied. There's 2 teams with the longest losing streak. Both teams have lost 3 weeks in a row.
Alaska Glaciers.
No, it's not Alaska Glaciers.
Globo
It's
Gym.
Globo Gym. It's Globo Gym. You would laugh at that. Yes.
Well, no, because I had to think about it. Who else could lose 3 weeks in a row other than Murderers Row?
It's not Murderers Row because Murderers Row won 2 weeks ago.
And then it's the other.
Yeah, it's 5 swords.
But it's Globo Gym because he's actually playing people that
5
are
swords
good.
at Globo Gym have each lost 3 weeks in a row. Okay, now you can continue your thing. All right, got it.
Well, my next question is, who would be your surprise player so far this season? A guy that's come out of nowhere that you were like, man. And again, try not to be biased towards your own
I
team.
know. That's why I'm trying to think here. Who just completely came out of nowhere.
Or is performing at this point better than...
I don't know. Do you?
I have one,
Go ahead,
but
give
he's
me one.
on a bad team, which is going to sound surprising.
Oh well, Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
yeah, Aaron Judge.
That's not who I was going to say, but that's a good one.
Yeah, it's not that people thought Aaron Judge was going to be terrible, but he's basically an MVP candidate.
And that's why I was going with Keuchel.
Yes,
Just
yes.
because-
Okay, you're right. Keuchel definitely, especially if you look at like where he was drafted in, regular draft leagues.
Correct.
Like, yeah.
And the fact that nobody, and I'm pretty sure of this, that he did try to offer him in trades during the offseason, and nobody wanted to do anything because he had such a horrible year last year.
Yeah, that's true.
So, interesting.
Yeah.
Guy you're surprised that's doing so bad right now.
It's Machado. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I was going to go with a number of players on bench champions.
well, yeah, but
You got the Rizzo.
yes, but I don't think. I think Machado is like a legitimate, first or second round pick in a fresh draft. You know what I'm saying? In a yearly
I
draft.
still think Rizzo would be maybe towards the end of a round 2.
Maybe.
But yeah, I mean, Machado easily is what?
Yeah. Yeah, I still think it's Machado for whatever reason would be my biggest. Now there's probably some pitchers out there like Tanaka has been really bad that you wouldn't think that.
Right,
I mean,
but no, it's nothing of a Machado-esque. I mean,
No.
you're looking for him to carry you during the weeks, and I've even noticed that Bench Champions is not playing him sometimes now.
Wow, no, I didn't notice that, but yes, that's.
Interesting. Here's an interesting question. What team would you want that is not yours going forward for the rest of the season?
Oh man. I would still say it would be yours.
Okay.
I think it would be yours because even though it's not necessarily the youngest, I still think it's the best because I do think there's other. Like I do think.
Well, just the rest of the season. Don't think about.
Yeah, future seasons. Well, then it would be yours because Trout's gonna come back. I mean, it's not like he's out for the year.
Right.
So yeah, I'd want yours.
I was gonna go with, and this is a toss-up for me, either Team Jobu or, I know you're not gonna like this, Ben's Champions.
Yeah.
Just because Ben's Team Jobu has all his Latin guys, but they're getting old and they're getting hurt a lot, so I'm a little wary of that right now.
That's why I wouldn't touch Team Joe.
Ben's Champions, for what we just talked about, has so many guys that are underperforming. At some point, you think they're going to, playing the numbers, the cyclical thing.
Right.
Unless this could be their career lows, they're going to just be ridiculous. He's going to have some weeks where he's just going to absolutely destroy people in some of the offensive categories when all his guys are doing what they're supposed to be doing. So.
I mean, if they all do what they're supposed to do, you have a valid point. But the reason why I wouldn't ever want Ben's Champions is because you basically would have to take 7 hitters and just release them or trade them for pitchers. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, I took out the GMing part of that. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah, because I mean, still, just like we discussed. Yeah, last week he still only won 9-6 by having 2 really really bad pitching categories.
Right.
So, his team has flaws.
Right, but you go into roster makeup, and obviously you're going to add Holmes guys or whatnot to try and win some categories.
Yeah, but in order to do that, you're going to have to get rid of literally 7 hitters.
Really? Would you have kept Odor as long as he did?
No.
Okay, so
Not
there's
a
guys
chance.
on his roster.
I mean, even if I couldn't trade him to someone, I would have straight dropped him.
Now, since I think I know where you're going to go with this, so I'm going to put a boundary on this where you can go.
Yeah.
What team, as of right now, since you played everybody,
Yeah.
are you least looking forward to in a playoff matchup? And I think you're going to say me, so I'm going to exclude you from saying me.
No, it's honestly, it's definitely Team Joe Boo. When he's healthy and he's got all of his guns, he is really, really good. And yes, he's going to continue to stream every pitcher known to man.
Right.
And even though it's going to happen, I mean, now obviously in the playoffs it's a little different because you can only pick up 7.
Correct.
So
he's got to be a little more.
Yes. But I think his offense is the most balanced and most scary when everybody's healthy. I know it's a big if because he's got so much age there.
And my team again is I'm going to go with Bench Champions again. Team that I would not want to play right now, just because I think at some point all those guys are going to start hitting. And you're dealing with the same scenario as well of he's going to churn pitchers.
This is gonna sound mean, and I don't want it to sound mean because I know sometimes it sounds like I'm taking shots at him. But
who?
Ben's Champions.
Okay.
Because I don't think Ben GMs his team well enough as far as matchups go. Like I think he has too many batters and he doesn't make the right decisions. And I don't think that's necessarily. I think he plays too much with his heart more than his brain. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like he goes on gut instincts more than the numbers. Because there's a lot of times where, just like you said, Manny Machado's getting benched. Should that really happen?
It looks bad. Sometimes I give him more. I actually have more respect for him actually taking the balls to do something like that because I think someone like you is just going to ride him out no matter what.
That's not true.
Okay, then why are you?
Well, no, I'm just saying. I mean,
him?
well, no, I'm just giving you an example. I just say there's certain situations where he has too much Oriole love or not enough Oriole love maybe in this situation. But I just look at his team sometimes and I see so many numbers left on the bench.
Well, that's going to happen when you have 22 hitters.
Right.
I'm sorry, 21 hitters.
But you're right. It's going to happen, but it's not okay when you have 4 guys in the lineup going 0 for. You're like, that means you played the wrong guys.
Correct.
That's all. That's what I'm saying.
But that can happen with anybody too.
Well, yeah.
Okay, my last question is bold prediction. Even though we look at how the standings are now and a lot can happen, what would be a bold prediction for someone who you think is either going to move up for the first part in the rankings or the standings, and someone you think is going to go down or possibly even not make the playoffs that are currently in our playoff scenarios? So who's your mover up? Who's moving up? What team do you foresee as potentially moving up? Either making the playoff 6 or going from a 5 or a 6 to maybe a 3 or a 2? Or do you think it's pretty written in stone with the way the first 9 are, the rest of the season's going to be?
You're right. It's probably Ben's champions. If his offense goes off, he's the one who could jump up.
Okay.
But I don't foresee anybody else that's that low able to jump up to 2 or 3.
Okay, but what about just jumping from 8 or 9 to 4 or 5? I mean, that's a significant move.
I would say it's probably Alaska Glaciers.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I think he just has to change some things with what he's doing with his pitching because I think that was usually his strength that he hasn't managed that right this year.
Yeah. He's too young. He's relying too much on too young of pitching.
Right.
And
his offense is fine. He just needs to
sometimes
redo. Yeah. I mean, everybody has bad offensive weeks. It's but I think if he redid his pitching staff and tried to maybe shorten it a little bit and get more concentrated, I think he could make a run.
Okay. And I know you're not going to like this part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Most or has the biggest chance or best chance of potentially sliding down, either in standings or falling out of the 6 and not making the playoffs. Because if you just said Alaska Glaciers can move up, that means one of the 6 got to come out.
Well, yeah, I didn't say Alaska Glaciers is going to. You just gave me a question as which one.
I gave you a scenario.
Yes. I'm not saying that's definitely happening. The one that would fall out, it's a convoluted question because I think convoluted. I think I could fall down, but I don't think because
you get knocked down.
I don't think I could fall out. Like I have too much of a lead on everybody else right now. Do you know what I mean? Because basically we're almost at the halfway point, and I'm 4 games up on you and 16 up on the rest of the league.
Right.
So I definitely think I could fall down, but I don't think I could fall down farther than like 3 or 4.
What would be the reason for you falling down, but getting up again? Because nothing's ever going to keep you down.
I don't think anything would. I don't know. I mean, I do have certain guys who have overperformed. I will admit that. But see,
are they overperforming, or according to you, are they performing the way they're supposed to because you're putting them in the situations where they are most successful?
I agree with that. I mean, but there is the thing is that I feel like I have guys that I still haven't even hit their potential. Like I think Lindor's sort of having an okay year, but he's not great. Like if he has a really strong second half, he could pick up the slack that maybe like an Eric Thames who could fall off the edge of the world. It could happen, So that's why I just don't think my team's constructed to just disappear. But I don't think I necessarily am going to be this dominant. I don't think I'm going to win the next 9 matchups.
Dominant.
Why are you laughing at that?
Dominant.
Is that wrong? Right now, you're the only one who's close to me, and there's no discussion about it. You're 4 games behind me, and then everybody else is 16. Look at the stats. It's what it is. Yeah, look at the stats, standings. Doesn't matter what you're looking at.
Interesting.
So I think I would be the one most likely to fall down because I definitely had some luck in who I'm playing. That has had to do with more than my players playing. It's the lucky that I've had is that I've played teams that just haven't performed very well at times.
Right.
So that has definitely helped me. But as far as somebody else, because I know that you don't really like Lobo Jim, but I still think Lobo's going to hammer the teams he should hammer.
I
or at
would
least
not-
beat that.
I was, and you'll understand this in a second. My team that I think has the potential to fall out or drop down significantly is Team Joe Bill.
Well, yeah, I guess because of injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Cano's not playing, if Cabrera's not playing,
Yeah.
if Cargo gets hurt like he normally does at some point during the season, Segura's proven that he's not going to be healthy all season. I mean,
Right.
what happens when he gets, again, 3 or 4 of these guys, that are hurt?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but the funny thing is that his offense is so freaking deep. You just had to list 5 guys, and you didn't even talk about Springer, who's freaking going off right now. I mean, he is
Right.
just so deep. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, because I mean,
All right.
he still has other players, even other than the old ones that can
Okay.
that can go. Off
So I just
for him.
thought of one more. This is new. So you didn't talk anything about Zips, 5 Swords,
Yeah,
Murderer's Row,
yeah.
Pine Tree Hill.
That's
Are you considering them
no.
not having a shot?
Here's the deal.
Break it down.
No, Zips is. I think Zips is probably the one who's going to make the playoffs out of that group, because I think Zips has the best team on paper, and he is trying to make the playoffs. I kind of feel like
He's trying to make the playoffs. That's a
No.
bold statement.
I'm not saying that Murderers
Yes.
Row is not
That's-
trying to make the playoffs.
You said he's the one trying to make the playoffs.
I think that Zips' team on paper has more talent than Murderers Row.
Okay.
Okay. So that's why I'm having Zips edge out Murderers Row. Now let's talk about the other 2 teams.
Wow.
I feel like 5 Swords and Pine Tree Hill or Lane or whatever you said. I think both of those GMs have too much affection for their young players and will not actually make the moves that are needed to make the playoffs. Do you follow me?
Okay. Interesting. Oh, and that leaves you with Alaska Glaciers then still on the making the playoffs then?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think Alaska Glaciers is the best team of all of that, but they've really dug a hole. Like, that's a big hole to dig out of.
It's not losing, it's getting your A handed to you that you can't do in this league.
I know. And the thing, honestly, it was funny because I think a few weeks ago I would have said, oh yeah, Alaska Glaciers is going to make the playoffs. But now Ben's Champions has made a move now where you actually have 5 teams that are over 500. Like, it was, you know what I mean? Like, the team 5 and 6 were like 10 under 500.
Right.
Now they're not.
But they're still all close. From 6 to even 5 a little bit. They're not.
Well, 7.
Far.
7.
Yeah, they're not far away.
Yeah, they're all in there. But you didn't really you asked the question, but you didn't really give your opinion, did you?
On what?
On which team do you think could climb or drop?
Well, the drop I said Team Joe Bill.
Oh yeah, you did say Team Bill, but you didn't really say the climb, I guess, but you didn't.
Well, yeah, I did. I said Ben's Champions could go from where they are to. I don't see any of the other. There's too many flaws with the bottom teams, and there's too much inconsistency that I could hang my hat on one of them and feel good about saying, yeah, I think Alaska Glaciers is going to make a run. They have great offensive players, but there's no consistency with the pitching. Or Pine Tree Lane. Love the roster, but it's too young and inconsistent. Zips is what it is. He's going to pick up guys that are hot all year long and trade guys that stop hitting.
That's why, and that's why I like Zips to make the playoffs. I think the Zips is in.
I can't figure out why 5 Swords is so bad. I mean, other than the fact that he doesn't have any stars, but I mean, his offense shouldn't be as bad as it's been. And Murderer's Row, I think maybe a wild card. I think he's got a little bit of a fire lit under his ass.
He does. Yeah.
And he's going to be a little bit more active in making moves. Are they going to be the right ones? I don't know. But again, does he have the roster?
Yeah, and
He's got a lot of Yankees right now.
Right, and that's kind of, as much as I love the Yankees, I don't think they're gonna. You know what I mean? I don't foresee Judge hitting 50 home runs this year. Sorry, I don't believe it. I mean, I'm not saying I'm wrong. I mean,
40 something's good.
Well, yeah, but I kind of feel like he's probably going to end up the year with like 35, and that's great for the year. But if you look at where he's at now, it's not super amazing for the rest of the year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just like we said about Gardner, I mean, who knows if Gardner's going to be able to hold up. I mean, Sanchez hasn't done much.
No.
So I think he's too Yankee dependent. And Tanaka's been really, really bad. I mean, he's had 4 starts where he's given up 7 runs.
Don't worry, Glaber's coming.
Yeah, Glaber is coming.
Glaber the savior.
Yeah. All right, well, I guess now we have to take a break
Yes.
and then do our power rankings. It should be very exciting to see how far Globo Gym has fallen. Now it's time for the power rankings. I don't understand the weird robot walk, but anyway, who do you have as your number 6 team?
Zippity-doo-dah.
We agree. Double the Zips.
Didn't he have a big win this week?
Yes, he did have the big win, and I agree with your statement earlier that Zips always plays for now. Trade away guys and get rid of guys as they get cold and hot, and that's how you. Believe it or not, that's how you actually get better. That's
And my number 5 team is going to get me a lot of hate texts again, just like it does every week when I rank this team. Dropping, because stats don't lie.
Yeah. What is that? What is that? I can't see. Oh my gosh. Globo Gym has dropped to number 5.
Well, it's very simple. If we look at our Power 6 players, he's winless.
He's winless. That means no wins.
Let me rephrase this. Not the Power 6. Okay? I don't consider Zips a contender. So let's look at our top 5. Our top 5.
I think you can contend Zips. That was your son that said that. Just remember that. It wasn't me. Okay, sorry.
He's buttering you up because he's going to steal a guy from you in a trade. Anyways, if you count your team, my team, Joe Boo, Ben's Champions, and Globo Gym.
Yeah.
Okay? He hasn't beaten any of us.
No.
So why should he be ranked ahead of any of us? Using your own logic.
Yes, I get it.
You don't agree with it.
I
Go
don't.
ahead, show it.
Because
He's going to put a team up right now that Globo Gym hasn't beaten. Go ahead.
Ben's Champions.
Whose only win against the Power 5 is Globo Gym.
Hold on. Since we're talking about this, Team V, you have 2 matchup losses this season, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. One of them was to me, of course. Who was the other one? Who else did you lose to in that matchup?
I lost to a Power 6 team.
Yeah, who was it?
Zips.
So should I rank Zips ahead of you now because Zips beat you in that one head-to-head matchup?
Okay, smarty pants. Let me ask you. Hold on. Before I answer that question, do Zips and I have the same head-to-head records? Has he only lost twice this year?
No, that would be incorrect.
So then you can't compare me to him because we're not tied. I only have 2 losses all year. So
Okay.
you need to compare me to a 2-loss team.
So
So can you compare me to a 2-loss team, and I'll answer your question.
Well, no, there's probably no other 2-loss team.
Oh, well then why are you even talking about it?
Okay. Well, let's continue the argument because this is all going somewhere. Now, do you think that Globo Gym has more head-to-head losses than Ben's Champions?
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
I'm not sure either. But
Fact check.
are we going to do a fact check?
Hurry.
All right. He's going to do a fact check. What we'll do is that I'll go into my number 4 team a while, and that is Globo Gym, who I still have ranked ahead of Ben's Champions because I still don't like the fact that Ben's Champions doesn't have the full team. Like if he addresses his pitching, which he's going to have to do, which is another thing that Team Jobu has to do going into because they're both at 106 or 107 transactions already. They're going to run out of transactions by the end of the year. So they have to make sure that they build the pitching staffs not before too long because there's not a lot of season left. Okay. Go ahead. He's really happy about this now, so we're going to find it out. Wait, I can't see. I'm trying to look at his.
Okay, would you ask the question again, please?
Okay. Did you look at both first?
Yes.
Okay. Now you said that Ben's Champions is higher ranked than Globo Gym,
Because I'm using logic.
And I'm asking I asked the question: is Globo Gym's record the same as Ben's Champions
No.
weekly?
No.
Okay. What is the difference?
Globo Gym has more losses.
Well, how many more losses?
1.
That's it? Just one loss more? That's it?
So he has no more. Hold on. He has less quality wins
Yeah.
in the top 5, and he has more head-to-head losses.
Well,
Oh, God, please explain it to me like I'm crazy.
like I just said, the reason why I have Globo ranked ahead of him is because Globo actually has a pitching staff. That's all. It's that simple.
Oh, so winning doesn't matter, just as long as you have a good pitching staff.
Hey, Ben's Champions has to build a pitching staff before the playoff time.
So why don't you have Alaska Glaciers in your Power 6?
Well, because he's just losing all the time.
But he has a great offense.
Yeah, well, he's losing. I can't.
Oh.
It doesn't work that way.
But so's Globo Gym. He's
Well,
lost 3 in a row.
Yes, he has lost 3 in a row. He's actually 4 and 5 total.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that what I had? Because I thought I had him 1 and how was that? 4 and 1 and 0 and 4 against good teams and bad
Right.
teams.
4 and 1, and then add 4 losses to that 4 and 1. That's 4 and 5.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it is
That's
4 and
math.
5.
That's math.
That is pretty. That isn't a great weekly matchup situation there, is it? No.
It just makes
But-
you look bad.
Okay. Yeah. I'm used to that. I don't care. Go ahead.
Okay.
Next.
So since I'm using logic, I'm putting Ben's Champions, who has a head-to-head win over Globo Gym
Yes.
and has a better head-to-head record overall,
Yes.
ahead of him.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm still maintaining that as a team that I like Globo Gym's team better, just because it's
Well,
got
that's
the
an
pitching.
opinion, but you're
Well,
supposed
hey,
to keep your opinion.
Just like you said, this team is punting, holds, and saves
Correct.
every week.
Correct.
So I don't understand why this team, if I can get the stupid paper up, can't be ranked ahead in the power ranking. That doesn't really matter other between.
Because even though this team is punting 2 categories every week, he still has more wins this season than this team who's not.
Okay. All right.
Number 3.
Number 3. Yeah, and I agree.
Jobu.
Yeah, Team Jobu.
Team Jobu is 2 and 2 against our Power 5.
Okay.
Wins against Globo and Bench Champions, which makes sense because I have them ranked below him, and losses to the Rockers.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would definitely give you that.
Which means that, once again, we're going to have the same rankings,
Yeah,
even though
same.
logically yours doesn't make sense again. But go ahead.
What do you mean logically it doesn't
These
make
number
sense?
2.
These number 2. Why wouldn't you think Lee is number 2?
Well, because you had me number 1 and dropped me even though I won because you said I didn't have Mike Trout.
Yeah.
But now I just beat someone who you have ranked number 4 in your power rankings. I beat them
Yeah.
without Mike Trout.
Right.
So doesn't that mean my team is better than what you think, even though when it has
No,
Mike
because
Trout?
ultimately you have to be better than the number 1 team. In order to move up, number 1 has to move down. In order for number 1 to move down, number 1's got to lose to somebody.
Oh, well, then that's being hypocritical. Because you moved number 1 down to number 2 last week, even though they won.
Well, it's just because. No, the reason why that happened is because
Who won the argument? This guy.
No, because the number 2 team just keeps winning.
You just said the only reason the number 1 should go down to number 2 is if they lose. Number 1 didn't lose last week.
Yeah, but again, the way you word stuff, that's
I'm just
not the way
using
it
your
is.
words.
Number 1
I'm
team.
using your words.
Number 1 team. Why don't you ask what the power ranking is against that? Because they haven't even lost anybody in the top 6. Bear Bashers. Because the only loss was Alaska Glaciers in week mother effing 1. That's right, effing. E-F-F-I-N-G. That's not a swear word.
Well, if you're going to play that game, then I can say, yes, I lost to Zips, but that was part of the Conforto and Murphy trade agreement.
What, that you would just throw the week? Oh, okay.
Can't prove it.
Okay, I gotcha. This guy is shady. Your commish.
No.
This is your commish right here.
Hold on.
Saying
Again,
that he was going to throw the matchup for the trade.
Again, and had this conversation with Ben's Champions 3 years ago. Sometimes people forget that when you talk to Team V, you have to identify whether you're talking to the owner, because I still am an owner of a team in this league.
No.
Or you're talking... No, I'm not.
You are? No, that's...
Or you're talking to the
surprised.
commissioner.
Yeah. Oh, what-
No,
what was this?
the commissioner would never throw a matchup intentionally. That's not good integrity for the league, and that's something that is frowned upon.
So you have some sort of bipolar disorder where you're either the commish or you're the league GM who is shaky.
I believe you're looking for multi-personality disorder.
Oh, okay.
Bipolar has to do with moods.
Well, you are pretty moody.
If you had to sit beside you once every week as a guarantee, would you be happy?
Yes. Anyway, so I guess that is the end of this. This is the longest video by far. This is going to be like...
Oh, we're going to get a lot of hate mail from Bench Champions.
Yeah, we will.
He doesn't have time in
How am I
life.
supposed to watch this whole thing? It's too long. People have lives. I have kids. I have a family.
Is that what he sounds like?
I don't think he's that high-pitched, but...
Pretty high. Just like that.
Hey, he was winning at life this weekend. That's all that matters.
Yeah, he was winning the life. That is true. All right. All right, so we'll make it over now. See you next week. See you later. Bye.